Hey Sean, just getting a chip swing on video. What we're trying to do is we're trying to hit a shot with a low trajectory and run out. And we're just using the term as a chip swing. So the setup presets impact. So what we're going to try to do is set the face first to where you want the ball to start out. Then you're going to set the feet to the face by moving the left foot toward the target, because we want the ball back off the inside of the right ankle. So it's always back at center. So basically in this setup, you don't move the right foot. You're going to lean your weight to the left side, and you're going to bend forward straight. You add no side tilt. The shaft of the club is going to be on the inside of the left side. So you set up perfect. Now, what we want here to de-lock the club is to return with the shaft leaning forward. So it really doesn't require a wrist break back. I'm going to form a little bit of a wedge position from the forearm to the wrist, and from the wrist down the shaft. We just want to maintain that at impact. Now, people that get wristy back are not successful at maintaining that. That's called a hinge and hold. So if you just picture swinging this triangle, which is setting up your impact, shoulders, forearms, you can do this without hinging. The main thing is to return at that angle of impact. The club comes off the ground. Just know that always. Don't try to keep it low to the ground. It goes down. Okay, there's your wedge. Okay, boom. Very nice. The club stays low to the ground. And what we're trying to do is keep the club finishing on the left side of the triangle. Now, your tendency is to follow through bigger to get the ball to your target. So you got to learn how to swing back bigger and finish more abbreviated, and that's going to control your distance. So that's your pitch swing. So in the lesson that we had, you were actually more in tune with the wedge position more than the finish position. So that's no problem. That's no problem. Okay? As long as your setup is correct. Okay? Okay, now the wedge swing, the pitch swing, is going to be at different distances. Right now we're going about 50 yards, and then we're going to shorten that up to about 20 and 10. But you're trying to use the loft in your sandwich, and you have bounce on the sandwich that if you hit behind it, it's designed to skid into the ball. So we're going to always use that to our advantage. Now, using the effective loft, we move the ball in the center, so now you're moving both feet apart, but don't get the stance too wide. The shaft is more neutral. I want you to back the shaft up a little bit so that you hit higher pitch shots when you want to. Okay? You're going to bend forward straight, 60 stays on the left, and here's the swing. It's basically an arm swing. What you want to be able to do is allow the right hip to just turn back so that you don't get too steep on your arm swing. So this will give a natural end up to your swing. So it'll shallow your plane to use the bounce of the club. Okay? Otherwise you'll get steep, maybe swing out across the end, across the ball. You're not using bounce in, you're using the leading edge, you're going to start digging. So just let that right hip turn back a little bit. Now the length of the swing is going to control your distance. So this swing is measured by your left hand and arm. So in this case, you're swinging shoulder height. You're going to follow through at least equal. Momentum usually makes you go a little bit bigger. Your pivot move, so you don't start down with your hands, is your right knee toward the target. Always want to feel like that starts the downswing. So now down, the club head just catches up to the handle, and when it catches up just right, you're using the effective loft. So that's pretty good. And even if you hit behind it, because of your plane not being too steep, the sandwich will skid into the ball, and that's to our advantage, even though we're trying to hit the ball first. Okay? Okay, now, eventually, that's an arc length zone that I use to control distance, and that's my 70-yard shot. The next arc length zone down from there is between the shoulder and hip, and that's my 50-yard shot. The next zone is hip to hip, and that's my 30-yard shot. Below the hips are the little ones around the green, and that's more feel rather than actually looking for a zone. And then number 5 is the full swing. Now over here, we're matching up. Just remember that. So we're not trying to keep the shaft ahead of the club head purposely, because we're not trying to knock the ball down. Okay? What you're trying to do now is shorten the distance. It works best when you're next to a green, but you're trying to go hip high back, hip high through. You're going to neutralize the shaft more in the zipper line with a narrow stance. You're just going to have to practice on when to stop your left hand and arm. It's not the club head, it's the left hand. Yeah. So you're going to my zone 3, which is between the hip and shoulder. Number 1 is down here. Number 2 is hip. That's number 3 in my zone image. Number 4 is shoulder height. Number 5 is full swing. Okay, so you're doing my 50-yard shot. Okay, now when you finish, we're going to try to shorten it a little bit to hit short ones. Otherwise, you keep going up, you're going to airmail the flag stick. You're going to always hit it beyond the hole. Okay? Yeah. Okay. All right, so you'll get better at that. Okay?